And we thank the Law Society of Kenya because when we gave the information, they came swiftly and they apprehended one Alice Wanjiru, who is now facing the 2 counts in court, one for commissioning documents without authority, and 2 pretending or acting as an advocate, which goes against the laws of our practice. We have established that she is not qualified to practice as an advocate. We have also established that she has been using the name of one advocate here in Kenol. We have the privilege of going to court today where she has taken plea. We have put up a spirited fight to ensure that she's given stringent bond and bail terms. And we are glad and we want to thank the court because it has stood with us and it has set quite some stringent bond terms, being cash bail at 150,000 Kenya shillings and an alternative bond at 300,000 Kenya shillings. We are urging the public that these cases of people who are not qualified, and we have christened them masqueraders, are very dangerous. They are the kind of people who they will take up a matter and even prepare documents in court. The danger with taking documents in court that have been prepared by an unqualified person is that in the event that that has been discovered, your matter the documents will be expunged from the record as well. Whatever you have done so far will be defeated until and at such a position or a time that you get someone qualified to prepare such documents. So imagine you have spent 100,000, you have spent 200,000, you have a property, probably 20 plots, and you are trying to do a succession cause in that matter. It will push you back to the drawing board because you are coming to court without the necessary representation. As well, to that person, if you have a complaint against that person, be fully warned that LSK can only do so much, either to recover that money because that agreement that you enter with these people mostly is unwritten. So you give money, probably even in cash, and you assume that that person will take care of your matters. And you go to court and you are hit by a blow where the documents are expunged from the records. So I'd encourage people, be careful. It costs a little bit more. It is not a lie that it costs money to get a professional. In fact, if you're building, you are safer off with an architect than with Mutu Mawe or someone just you've picked from the roadside who you have had construct houses. Because if that house collapses, if you have an issue with that house, you will have nowhere to run to. We ourselves as advocates, we have repeated cases where people come and they say they gave money to an advocate or someone who they considered an advocate to take a matter into court, maybe a succession. Mostly we have succession and land matters. But please be warned, you can lose that property, you lose the money, and that person, because that person is unqualified, you have nowhere to find them. Now, if you think about the matter that is with us today, if we were to try and chase down or establish who Alice Wanjiru is, it is difficult. She's not on the Law Society database. She has not taken out a practicing certificate. If she decided today to disappear, where would we get her? And that is what we want members of the public to think about. Anytime you are engaging someone, at least, at the very least, have a bit of traceability. Look for their practicing certificate. Ask them to introduce themselves formally. If you need to write to the Law Society of Kenya, ask them, who is this person who is handling my matter, even before you engage them. That will help us at least reduce the risk of failed cases, reduce the risk of botched agreements, botched land transactions, and hopefully it will make for a better society. Well, there are 2 issues that have come up in that line. One, licensing your name to be used by someone else. I stand here to confirm that it is illegal to allow someone to use your name. If it is not you who is practicing in that style, in that office, it is illegal to allow, and particularly a secretary. The only arrangement that can be done is if you employ an advocate. Whether that advocate bears your name or not, if that advocate is practicing under your name, they are allowed to prepare documents. The other thing, as advocates, we employ people, mostly you employ desperate cases. People who come to your office, they have a diploma, they have a degree. Some of them are semi-literate. They probably have just done Form 4. And you give them an opportunity. Now, it is dangerous to assume that we will always do the right thing and employ people who are not going to turn rogue. But we do our best. We do our little vetting here and there. We try and get as many documents from these people as possible. When these people go rogue, and as you will soon realize about the case of Alice Wanjiru, she was brought in by an advocate, trained very well, and on that training alone, she went and established a practice under a different name. Therefore, our advocates and we as advocates do our best to ensure that we are giving our customers, our clients, premium service. When some of these officers go rogue, it is beyond us to try and tame them. The best you can do is maybe relieve them of duties, and that does not stop other advocates from taking them up. What I would encourage our advocates, if you interact with someone who is a former employee of another law firm, please seek information. Call that former employer. You may not be in the best of terms, but it will save you the trouble of getting someone who is crooked, someone who is a masquerader, someone who will even swindle you. Yes, even us advocates are being swindled by our own officers. So it will reduce the risk of that.